Hi, hello, welcome. I'm back with a new video, and today I've decided, seeing as all the stuff that's been going on with Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, what we should do is we should sit down and take a look at their history, because I know a lot of people maybe aren't aware of the stuff that Jeffree Star has done in his past and the other controversies that he has been involved in. So, as essentially, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to sit here and tell you everything and break it all down and explain everything that's happened and what has really come from it. So, let's begin. So, the first thing we have today is in the early 2000s, Jeffree Star created a makeup line called Lipstick Nazis. Now, I don't think I necessarily have to explain to anybody why that is bad, but it's the fact that he was trying to monetize his makeup brand after something so horrible. And fun fact, in certain countries, the name Hitler has actually been made illegal. You can no longer name your child Adolf or Hitler, purely because of how much of a catastrophe World War II was and the Holocaust, and the fact that he wanted to put that as his brand for his lipstick is quite shocking. It even had like a swastika and everything. It was just mind-blowing. And before you are all like, oh, he was young, it probably didn't mean anything, like, people make mistakes because they're young and dumb. No, actually, he was 20. Well, he was in his 20s. This was the early 2000s, you see. So he wasn't that young. So it's just not really an excuse, is there? Made an apology about this, saying, oh, I was young and dumb. The term Nazi was used to describe someone who's quite obsessed about something, like a soup Nazi or whatever, who's someone who's obsessed with cooking or anal about it or whatever. But it's not really an excuse, is it? Moving on. Now we have footage of Jeffree Star using abusive slurs and language in 2004. Yeah, 2004. Let's see. A fan made compilation, either by someone who doesn't like Jeffree Star, maybe someone who did like him, who knows, made a compilation of footage that shows Jeffree Star racially abusing women in the streets. The footage is thought to be from 2004, somewhere around there, so we're still like quite early into the 2000s. And keep in mind that it's 2020 now, so that means that Jeffree Star has continuously been getting into controversies since the early 2000s. So for someone to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I will change, I will make myself better, I won't make so many mistakes, and to just keep on making the same mistakes, well, maybe not the same mistakes, but to keep on being so problematic is something you really should take note of, because it's not like it's just a one-time thing. But in his apology video, he started off by saying, I think that racism is a very serious subject, especially in today's world. I'm embarrassed as a person because that is not what I ever stood for. I'm all about self-expression, self-worth and self-love. I think it's awful that you guys have seen me in that light. I mean, is he though? Because there's more. This isn't only, like, I'll try and insert the clip in if I can find it, but this is not the only example of racial abuse from Jeffree Star as we move on to our next controversy in 2006. So this is like before my time, really, because at this point I was like 4. So in 2006, he made a joke about splashing battery acid on a black woman. He said, and I quote, "Well, maybe if she wasn't wearing the wrong foundation, I wouldn't have to splash no battery acid. I wanted to lighten her skin tone." And he was talking about a black woman. Now, considering that just 2 years prior, he'd apologised for being racially abusive, and then he goes on to say this again, it shows you that he didn't really learn from his mistakes. He just kind of repeated them. So, you know, it's just not good, is it? And there's no example of a specific apology for this clip. But like I said, I'll try and find a way to download them all and edit them into this video, because I feel like you really need to see the full story here. Then the next year, 2007, in his music video, We Want C-U-N-T, I don't swear, he said the M word in it. He says the M word literally 22 seconds in, as well as other problematic things. And if you want to talk about problematic Jeffree Star lyrics, he has many songs with various artists, including Hollywood Undead and Blood on the Dance Floor, where the lyrics are just shocking. And me, myself, I'm personally a fan of Hollywood Undead, but I do know that their music in the early days, like the early 2000s, was really, really edgy and, you know, did go along that vein. There are a lot of lyrics that really won't survive in today's, you know, society. But their music now is a lot more calmer, a lot more chill, and still hella good. They only release bangers, I'm telling you now. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. The next controversy Jeffree Star was involved in was in 2010. He was hitting women, tasing men, and calling Pink an effing dirty lesbian. Yeah. He said a number of ridiculous things, such as admitting to tasing someone because they poured water on him, calling Pink an effing dirty lesbian, and calling gay people annoying, which, last time I checked, wasn't he gay? It doesn't make sense when you think about it for a gay person to be homophobic, but Jeffree Star is just a walking example that anyone can be anything no matter who they are. Yeah. He rounds off the interview nicely, because apparently this was in an interview with Red River Noise, and he ends it off nicely by saying, "I'm all about business usually, but of course I like to go out and have fun. The other night I punched a girl and threw drinks everywhere. That's just what happens if people are going to talk sugar honey iced tea." Now we move on to 2016. 2016 was filled with controversy and drama surrounding Jeffree Star. We have the first example is him telling Makeup Charlotte that he beat her to the ground. Now, this is more than just like, oh, I'm going to cancel this person, I'm going to cancel that person. This is physically like threatening someone, threatening to hurt someone. He'd always known to be vocal, which is true. He's vocal and expresses opinions about the makeup community, whether they're good or bad. He tends to just say whatever he says on it. But he says that he'll actually beat her and mean it when they got into an argument. And she responded with a tweet that said people should never support a man that expresses interest in beating women. And then Jeffree replied saying, "But you look and sound more like a man. You look and sound more like a man than I do, so relax." Which, when you just think about that, doesn't make sense. And then he proceeded to call her a broke effing rat. honestly, I'm not even halfway through, right? I'm only in 2016. I'm not halfway through. And I'm just sat here wondering, why do people stan him? Why does Jeffree Star have stans? He shouldn't. He doesn't deserve them. There are like thousands and thousands of more less controversial people that I think should deserve more stans. Like, if the people that I watch personally and the content that I look at had half as many subscribers as Jeffree Star, I know they'd put it to good use. They'd only ever advocate good, wholesome messages. None of these threatening or manipulative or snaky behaviours. None of it. Okay, next on, we move on to the controversy with Kat Von D. So essentially, Kat put on an Instagram post saying she's ending her relationship, well, friendship with him for various reasons, because of his drug use, racism and bullying. So then he fired back saying that she never supported his brand, accompanied by a typically long video. Because of course, once you're a YouTuber, if you get into any controversy, 10-minute video. Like, what are the chances that he even monetized it? Because gotta make that bread in it. But essentially, Kat Von D has decided to cut ties because Jeffree Star is problematic. Like, all I really want to get across with that video is that Jeffree Star is a problematic YouTube creator who does not deserve the attention and money and support he's getting. Moving on, so now we bring it back to last year, 2019, and everyone knows what this drama is. It's the James Charles drama, and Jeffree tweeting James's brother Ian. So essentially, Jeffree wanted to ruin his career. James Charles was 18, 19 at the time of this. Jeffree Star was 30 something, like, he's old. But he's out here trying to ruin a kid's career because he's becoming more popular than him. Like, James Charles had overtaken Jeffree Star in subscribers. So literally, like, months after doing collabs and videos together, Jeffree Star started to spread the rumour that James Charles is a sex pest or whatever, and is a predator towards straight men and is a danger to society and can't be allowed out, right? And despite the fact that he has had songs, let me find the lyrics, I'll read them out. Jeffree Star has a song called Straight Boys. So his whole thing against James Charles was, oh yeah, he's a horrible person because he pushes himself onto straight guys and he makes them uncomfortable, and he tries to convince straight guys to do whatever he wants by flexing his wealth, right? I'm just going to read a bit of this. Straight boys, where you at? I'm a boyfriend kleptomaniac. Straight boys, where you at? I want a boy with juicy lips who doesn't care I don't have a... I'm done. I'm moving on. I can't be bothered for the rest of this. This is gross. I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. We're done. We're done. We're done. But what I'm saying is, when Jeffree Star made that song, he was in his 20s. James, teenager. So the fact that he's calling out James Charles on something that he did, the exact same thing he did, it's a bit hypocritical. And it didn't stop there, because Jeffree even tweeted James's brother Ian at the time saying, why is your brother a predator? Why did you really move back to NYC? Exactly. Stuffu. And then he continued to say, there's a reason Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming to our home again. There is a reason why I haven't seen him since at Glam Life's Guru's birthday in February. He's a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100% true. Yet, still, 1 year on, no evidence. And this week, no, last week. I don't know, I've lost track of the days. Anyway, recently, in the last few days, Jeffree Star made an apology for his involvement in this whole drama once again. His second apology on this specific drama. And that video in itself was really problematic. I made a video about it. If you want to go check it out, that'd be great, because I basically reacted to his apology and, you know, gave my general opinion. Spoiler alert, it wasn't good. It was horrible, actually. Like, I don't like, people criticize James Charles's apology and Logan Paul's apology and say that those apologies are bad, but nah, Jeffree Stars was way worse, because what he actually did was he released a video apologizing and talking about taking accountability for your actions. But then he goes on to say this: now Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Black trans women are being murdered every day and the news is silent. Elijah McClain has no justice, and countless other people who are murdered every day, whilst everyone just goes about their business like nothing's happening. He actually tried to use the Black Lives Matter movement to deflect from his own issues. He's trying to use worse news to deflect from what he is doing, and it's actually just unbelievable. Like, who would do that? Only Jeffree Star, apparently, because... But that's my rundown of all the Jeffree Star controversies that he has ever been involved in, starting from the early 2000s when he was actively present in the social media to now. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you want me to do this with anyone else. I'm sure there's plenty more problematic YouTubers I could do it with. And yeah, peace.